Hi everyone, so today we will be reading Not Quite Narwhal by Jessie Sima with the permission from Simon & Schuster. Kelp was born deep in the ocean. And then there's Kelp and his little clam sleeping. He knew early on that he was different from the other narwhals. His tusk wasn't as long as everyone else's, and he had different tastes in food. And you can see that his tusk is small. And he wasn't a very good swimmer. But his friends didn't seem to mind, so Kelp decided he wouldn't either. That is until he was swept away by a strong current. I wish I were a better swimmer, he said. Kelp found himself at the surface closer to land than he'd ever been before. High up on a cliff, he spotted a mysterious, sparkling creature. It looked so familiar, it looked like Kelp. And there he is on the mountain. Kelp swam toward the land as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that he could catch up with the creature that looked just like him. When he finally reached the shore, Kelp felt a little bit anxious. He had never left the ocean. He was nervous about walking for the first time, but the land creatures made it look so easy. So Kelp has never walked before. It wasn't. Oof. Ow. He tried walking like a crab. Eventually, he got the hang of it, slow and steady. Everything on land was strange and beautiful, but also kind of scary. Kelp began to think he might never find the creature that looked just like him, but as he stumbled out of the forest, he saw land narwhals. Actually, we're unicorns, and by the looks of it, so are you, he said. Kelp had never heard of unicorns before. They taught him all sorts of new things about his tusk. We call them horns. Wow. They introduced him to unicorn delicacies, like a unicorn. And his horn shoots out rainbows. And they showed him how to gallop. There was no doubt that Kelp was, in fact, a unicorn. He was having so much fun that he didn't want to leave. But then he remembered all of his friends are under the sea. And Kelp missed them terribly. So he said goodbye to the unicorns and he returned to the ocean. Come back soon, said the unicorns. Kelp swam towards home as fast as he could, which wasn't fast at all, hoping that the narwhals would still like him now that he was a unicorn. Do you think the narwhals will still like him? I think they do. When he finally arrived, Kelp had butterflies in his stomach. The narwhals were so excited to see Kelp, they yelled for him. They made him a sign. and they all waited for him. Kelp took a deep breath and told his friends the news. It turns out I'm not a narwhal. Of course you aren't, said his narwhal friends. So they seemed to know that Kelp wasn't a narwhal. I'm a unicorn. We all knew that. They took it quite well. So they must have known that Kelp was a unicorn before Kelp knew. Kelp was happy to be home, but now that he experienced life on land with the unicorns, he couldn't seem to forget them. I don't think I'd forget them either. They looked pretty fun to be with. Did he want to be a land narwhal with the unicorns or a sea unicorn with the narwhals? Kelp couldn't decide. But then he realized that maybe... What do you think Kelp realized? Just maybe Kelp didn't have to choose. So he decided to bring both the unicorns and the narwhals together. Thank you for listening to our story time today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.